All right, everybody, what's up? Welcome to show number 2 of the Ohio Sports Radio Show. This week, we actually have all three of us, which is awesome. Last week was great. It was fun. Thank you to everybody who asked questions, who watched it, who continues to check out our stuff. It was a lot of fun. So this week it's me, it's Ian, me, Jared, Ian, and we got Chris with us. Finally, Chris got his internet up and running, so that's
We're
awesome.
good to go. We're finally here.
Awesome. We got the whole crew with us, so awesome. Let's get into it. So last week we gave you guys our picks for the NFL games, which was awesome. As everybody remembers, meaning we're kind of par for the course. I didn't want to do that. I thought that was lame, so I changed my pick. I initially took the Bills over the Dolphins. I prefaced it by saying the Dolphins would get crushed in that game, but I thought I should change it up. And Ian, tell us what everybody finished up with last week picks wise.
Last week was a big week for all of us. Chris came in at 11-4. Jared, since you decided to break away from par for the course and go with the mighty Dolphins from Miami, you finished at 12-3. Now, if you would have stuck with the Bills like me, you could have been 13-2 like myself. So, man, I guess you really want to wear that Joe Thomas jersey.
Okay, so Chris, that's another thing. I don't know if you know this or not. So we decided that we're going to do the picks this way. So each week, whoever wins the week, winning it meaning they have the most correct picks, wins the week. By the end of the year, whoever has the most wins our little pool here. Whoever doesn't win the league has to wear a picture in their opposing team's jersey. So you, a Bengals fan, me, a Bengals fan, we would have to wear a Browns player's jersey, take a picture in it, and keep it as our social media profile picture for at least a week. So there is a lot on the line here.
The question is, if we're talking Browns jerseys, it can't be a quarterback because a week's time, that's 3 quarterback changes. So can't have that.
We're not even 3 minutes into this, and you're already getting zinged, Ian. So, yeah, but that's a very good point.
Okay, 3 weeks in, do we have a running tally? I know we're going to go over the picks from week 3, but week 1 and 2, do we kind of have an idea? We're probably neck and neck, right? I mean,
so I think week 3. I think through 3 weeks, Ian's leading two week wins to 1. We both have 1. I do believe.
we're going by. We're not doing total games.
We're not total games. I feel like would just be. I would kill you guys. So I'm giving you guys a fair chance to win this. Right. Ian, what is it? 2-1, you?
Yeah, you and I tied for week 1. Chris won week 2. I won week 3.
Awesome. And I should point out that Ian's probably not going to have any video for those who miss his beautiful face because his video was really choppy last week, so we're just trying to cut down on that a little bit. Ian will be back eventually, hopefully. So, Ian, we still love you. And thank you for showing up with your beautiful voice tonight. But let's get to a couple questions. We had some awesome people on our Facebook page. If you haven't checked us out on Facebook, we have our Ohio Sports Radio page. Make sure you go like that. We have some people that asked us some questions that want us to tackle some things for tonight's Ohio Sports Radio show. So the first question, Ian, was from Miss Brittany Dunaway. And Brittany, happy birthday, by the way. I know it's your birthday, so happy birthday. Miss Brittany Dunaway asked, Ian, the big question we talked about last week, Johnny or McCown, who you taking?
Well, that's a question that I don't think the city of Cleveland can answer you. One half of football wants Johnny. The next half of football, when things start getting good, it's Josh. Like you brought to my attention today, the TMZ report, there seems to be a little bit of drama, a little bit of mutiny in Cleveland right now with some players who remain anonymous that they want Johnny, and they're very vocal about it. Now, like I said, they're remaining anonymous and whatnot, but I don't know. I think it's Bush League. I wish that. It's not going to help our chances any. But as far as my opinion goes, I want to see Johnny if they're willing to give the team to him. I don't want Johnny to come in and then if he has a mistake, if he makes a mistake, if he has a bad game, they give it back to Josh. That kills your confidence going forward. There's no continuity. You're not building anything. Just like with the head coaches, you got to keep a system in place. We talked about Cleveland being a revolving door with head coaches, with systems. You just can't build anything off that. Now, in regards to McCown, I know he's not, everybody's favorite choice, but the guy hasn't done anything to lose his job yet. He hasn't played bad. The play calling has been flawed terribly. They run on first and second down every series, it seems like, and McCown's forced into a third and long every time. And you're just going to put your team in a hole. And to note on that, on a lot of those third and longs, McCown got them a first down. I mean, he played well enough to win that game. He wasn't terrible by any means. A lot of people want to bring up that last pass, but I mean, there was so much more in that game that could have. It was just a slow start. I mean, that killed us. We got in a running game established. We let Derek Carr throw all over us. Our defense looks shaky. Our defense is not near as good as what everybody thought it was going to be yet. And I think that comes down to all of our stars and all pros, deciding they want to take the preseason off. I mean, we saw Joe Hayden for maybe 2 or 3 series in the preseason, and he's getting torched every week. So it's getting back to the quarterback situation right now. I want to see McCown stay at starting quarterback.
Yeah. I'm not a Browns fan. I don't really watch you guys because typically the Bengals are playing at the same time. I do know from a football stance, and Brittany, great question, by the way. I know that's $1 million question right now. I go with Manziel, man. I don't understand the philosophy of Manziel won you guys that game. I mean, he looked great. And for those of you, like we mentioned earlier, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about with the TMZ story, there was a story that leaked apparently out of Cleveland's locker room that TMZ reported at first that 3 unnamed offensive players in Cleveland's locker room are saying that the team's starting the wrong quarterback and they want Johnny Manziel to start. We were guessing amongst ourselves who we think the players are that leaked that. Benjamin has to be one, right? I mean, after the monster week he put up with Manziel at quarterback, he has to be one, right? I mean, Chris, what do you think?
Maybe it was Johnny Manziel who leaked it. Did we ever think of that?
I mean, that makes sense.
I have a question for Ian, actually, being the Browns, a connoisseur of the group. Okay, so you have Josh McCown in preseason. You have Josh McCown week 1. He gets helicoptered at the goal line. He's out. You bring in Manziel for week 2. He gets a W, the elusive Cleveland W. All of a sudden, McCown is fine. He's good to go. And now Manziel's back on the bench. Now, to me, as a fan watching, I see more exciting football week 2. I see a W. I see a guy who's out there having fun. Is it the coaching staff that maybe has a little bit of a problem with Johnny Football, or what?
I think it is the coaching staff. I think, Jared and I alluded to this last week. I think they built this team for McCown from day one in the off season, and I think that, just with the moves they've made, the players they brought in, they built this team for McCown to start with. Now, I won't lie to you. Week 2 was a lot more fun to watch than week 1 and week 3. I agree, and I know it's nowhere on the same barometer as what's going on at Ohio State. But Jared, just like we talked about, J.T. Barrett lost his starting job because of an injury, and we both said, there's no reason you shouldn't lose your starting job because of an injury if you're healthy to play. And I think that's what's going on with McCown. I think Johnny can win with the team they have, but I don't think Johnny can win, more than 5 or 6 games with this team. I think this team is built around McCown. Now, I don't think the team's built very well, but I think they put this team in place for McCown, and I think moving forward, you got to go with McCown until he messes up royally. And I don't think he's messed up yet. Yeah, he lost to Oakland. I think Oakland's an under-the-radar team. I don't think they're great. I think they're better than Cleveland. But I don't know. It's a wait-and-see process with that quarterback situation like it is every year.
But here's the thing. That's exactly it. As a Browns fan, how can you stomach this year in and year out? It's got to be miserable for you guys. I actually feel bad for Browns fans. So like you guys waste. I'm not going to say waste. You take a first Johnny Manziel with a first-round draft pick. It's to the point now where you have to decide, is he your guy going forward, or are you guys on the clock again, round one for a quarterback? So you got to give Johnny some games. They can't keep playing him and him showing glimpses of being good and then glimpses of being bad. No quarterback is going to be good on 1 week and then sit 2 weeks and come in and be good again. They need repetition. They need continuity amongst the teams, and he can't get that sitting on the bench. He should be your guy's starter for the year. I mean,
I agree.
From now until the end of the year, get that large window and say, okay, he didn't look good this week, but these weeks he looked good, and maybe next year that lets you guys know, he won this 4 games this year, 5 games, whatever it may be. But next year, he showed a lot of promise that he can lead this team, he can lead this offense, he can lead them on and off the field. You guys need that. You cannot keep playing quarterbacks. That's why you guys have the long list of quarterbacks that you do. It's the Browns, for some reason, the quarterback comes in and throws 3 interceptions 1 week, and then you play him the next week, and he looks bad, and then you guys switch quarterbacks.
It's quarterback by committee. It's a tag team.
Yeah,
I think for better or for worse, you have to run Manziel for 1 year because you have to think, what's our 5-year plan? It seems like the Browns always have a 1-year plan.
Always. They have a 1-year plan with everything. And I said this last week, Chris, that's a great point. I said the Browns need to take a page of the Bengals book. The Bengals have been successful because they've kept the system in place for 10 years. It's a building process. You don't build a team in 1 year. Marvin Lewis is a great judge of talent. He will be the first GM in Cincinnati history. He will be. He's built this team up. They have 38 players that they've drafted, and this team is they have 38 players on their active roster that they drafted. This team has been built through the draft. They've stuck by their plan. Andy Dalton's their guy. They're going to stick with him. He does some things bad. He looks good sometimes, but they've stuck with him. You guys need to do the same thing. Whether it's Manziel or whoever, you have to stick with the quarterback.
Can you imagine in Cincinnati, Carson Palmer comes in, let's just say, for example, 2003, 2004. He sits the bench year 1. That's fine. He's running under John Kitna back when he came in as a rookie. Didn't take a single snap. Year 2, he comes in. He has about a Troy Aikman year for his rookie season, ups and downs, about 16 picks, 16 touchdowns. Can you imagine he has a bad game, John Kitna comes back in until he has a bad game, and then you tag the guy back in? I don't know. To me, there's really no growth there. It seems like it's hurting both of these guys. They're always looking over their shoulder. There's no confidence being invoked. They're afraid to make that throw. I don't know.
Who makes that call, though? Who makes that call where Palmer sat for a year and then he came in and he had free reign?
Good
Who
question.
made that call?
You're talking about a brand new head coach. Would Mike Brown give him that kind of leash in year 1? I don't know.
The Browns, I love that 10-year plan that the Bengals did. I love what the Bengals have done. I wish the Browns would model that. But the difference between Mike Brown and the difference between Jimmy Haslam is Jimmy Haslam runs, they both run it as a business, but Jimmy Haslam has his finger on that fire button nonstop. And it goes beyond quarterbacks. It's the systems that they put in place. It's the coaching. It's the revolving door of front office and of head coaches and coaching staffs. And yeah, as a fan, I'm sick of seeing the quarterback carousel. But until we get an owner in place or a management group that's in place that will do something like the Bengals have done, it's never going to change.
Yeah, it's crazy how you guys are so close. You guys have been so close for so long, and it's like you guys take one step forward and 2 steps back, always. Always. Your offensive line is close to being good. You have good players. You guys have I've said this to you, Ian. I said it last week. I'll say it 1,000 times. This year's Browns team has the worst set of skills players I've ever seen in my life. Your wide receivers are terrible. Your running back committee is terrible. You guys have a good defense that is so close to being good,
Good secondary.
Great secondary. I want Joe Hayden in Cincinnati. I would love to have him in Cincinnati. He's a monster. The Browns have a great defense. They have a good head coach. He's a good head coach. Any person who takes the Browns job is kind of clinically insane, I think, because that's such a hard job to take. You have such high expectations for such a bad team. I don't understand it.
Yeah, you don't make the playoffs on our quarterback carousel in 3 years. Goodbye.
No, you guys are preaching to the choir. I mean, it's one of those things where you have two guys every year you come into the season with, and the drama that's going on in the locker room that TMZ reported. We foster that drama as a team. We allow that to happen because of everything that's going on between the two quarterbacks. I think McCown. Not McCown. I think Manziel could come in. I think Manziel would benefit from playing, the rest of the season, but that's not his call. And what I like about Manziel is he's handled everything gracefully, talking about it. But as far as the coaching staff goes, I think that they are not sold on him still from the old Johnny, from everything as far as rehab goes, from the nights out. I think they're making him earn his keep, and I don't agree with it. But I'm not paid to make those decisions.
Well, we talked about it last week. I think that Manziel has learned, look, if I want to stay in this league for as long as I can and make money doing something I love instead of working an actual job, then I got to straighten up. He seems to be doing the right things.
The sad part is he has straightened up.
Yeah, it looks like he's straightened up, but as I said last week, to not start Manziel after he went out and got you guys, like Chris said, the elusive Browns win, we're not in practice every day with him. There's got to be something that they see that we obviously don't see.
It's almost like a slap in the face to Manziel or a message by the coaching staff that we don't care about wins, we care about character, and we like this guy better. That's from an outsider's perspective how I see it.
Character doesn't win Super Bowls, players win Super Bowls. So, yeah, we're definitely on the wrong track.
Well, Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl with character. That guy has more character than any of us could ever imagine to have.
Okay, that was a sentimental Hallmark moment that will never, ever come up again on this show.
I'm just saying. But, the Browns just tend to shoot themselves in the foot nonstop. It drives me insane because, for the rivalry, for our division, I obviously want the Bengals. I don't care if you guys win another game. I want the Bengals to win. But at the same time, I do want you guys to win for the rivalry, for our division, for the state of Ohio, for us to talk about something other than your quarterback controversy. I want you guys to win. What is sports without a little rivalry? I mean, that's what makes it fun.
I think we could fill a whole show based on questions about the Browns, but I got questions just keep popping up in my head, and I keep triggering more thoughts here on the Browns. Now, I'm fascinated here. Think back to Cincinnati. Marvin Lewis had a chance to rebuild this Bengals team 3 times. Almost unheard of. He's the second longest tenured coach in the NFL now, just only to Bill Belichick, and he has 4 less Super Bowls to show. But imagine in 2006 when the Bengals go 4-12. They say goodbye to Marvin. They say goodbye to Carson Palmer. Not 2006. It was 2009 or 10. What happened in that stadium? You had blackouts left and right. Fans weren't showing up. The money was down. The message was sent. Now, flip over the tab and look at Cleveland. 4-12, 5-11, 4-12, 5-11. What does that equate to? Sold out.
We still like to party and we like to drink and we still show up to the stadium.
No matter what, it will almost cost this team to have a winning record because now you have to pay for the electric bill when the playoffs come to town.
I don't know what will happen if the Browns ever made a playoff run. I really think that Ohio will set an unbelievable record for arrests and drunken in public.
Couches.
It would be unreal.
I do commend their loyalty. We know they're the most loyal fans in the NFL, and we know that because they are consistent underachievers and sub 500 teams. But does that hurt them in the long run? Are the fans not sending a message, hey, we'll pay for anything, go 0-16, we just love to hang out? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I mean,
I don't know. Just for so long, that fan base has just been extremely loyal, and they haven't known anything else besides losing. This generation of fans. So I don't know. I can't predict what would happen if we won. I think, like Jared said, I think it'd be a all-time high in arrests and burn couches and flip cars.
Yeah.
I 100% agree, and I actually had a discussion about the same thing on the flip side with the Bengals that I'll touch here in a little bit when we eventually do get to the Bengals. I think fans of Ohio teams enjoy misery. Like, no matter what's going on, how good you're playing. Like, Andy Dalton has played out of his mind good this year, and anyone who hates Andy Dalton can't deny it. But at the same time, I feel like Bengals fans are waiting for him to mess up so they can start a quarterback controversy of some kind. It's insane how much Ohio sports fans are just so used to we're so used to not being good at the sport.
I was running the numbers on this the other day. You brought up Andy Dalton. Look at Andy Dalton's career up to this point. Look at Carson Palmer's career up to his point of about year 4 or year 5. At Carson Palmer's year 4, he was still revered as a god, as the golden boy, as the #1 pick. He had all the hype out of USC. Now flip that over to Andy Dalton. He's a second rounder from TCU, not as glorified. Andy has red hair, which I think hurts him too, unfairly. But honestly, the man has identical numbers, quarterback rating-wise, to Carson Palmer. He controls the ball, takes care of the ball better now. I don't know what it's going to take for the fans here to get behind him. I don't know, maybe a 16-0 run, win some in the playoffs. I mean, at least he's getting to the playoffs in 4 years in a row. That's something that Carson Palmer can't say.
Well, that's an excellent segue into the Bengals.
There you go.
So let's go with this. Our friend and follower on Facebook, Jeremy, posted a question for our 2 Bengals fans. It said, do you think the Bengals have a real chance of a first-round bye in the playoffs, or do they come back down to earth? Also, I feel that Hugh Jackson may get a chance to become a head coach next season with a team like Miami. How crucial is it to keep Dalton and the gang in an offense that they are familiar with, but also is working pretty damn well so far?
Jeremy, you're awesome. I love you, dude. So when we first started this website, he's our UD guy. He writes a lot of UD stuff. He's awesome. Jeremy, great question. I don't think they'll get a first round bye because I'm a Bengals fan. I'm just used to them messing stuff up. I don't know. I think they're a fantastic team. I think I read a statistic. They're actually offensively ranked #2 in the NFL right now, that's an awesome stat. So Hugh does have them playing at a high level. I said last week that I think he will have a head coaching job, whether it's next year or a couple years after that. I think he was treated very unfairly by the Raiders. One season, 8-8. That team was terrible. Terrell Pryor was his quarterback. So
best coach they've had in years.
Yeah, I mean he's a great offensive coordinator. Jay Gruden leaving is one of the biggest blessings in disguise ever with this team. I don't think they'll get a first round bye. I do think that they're one of the best teams in the NFL. They're one of the most complete teams. But I don't think they'll get a first-round bye. And I also I think Hugh will take a job sooner or later. He may take Jay Gruden's job, actually, because that team's pretty terrible. I don't know, Chris. What do you think on that?
Okay, count me in the optimism camp on this question. Now, I actually do think, and this is my honest truth, watching this team for a decade and a half, on paper and on film, I know it's an early sample, 3 games. This looks like the best Bengals team that I've ever seen. Now, granted, I'm just a shade over 30. I didn't really experience the 2 Super Bowls. I'm not saying it's the best team of all time. I'm not saying it's the '85 Bears. I'm just saying they have a shot at a first-round bye. Now, why? You've got the Denver Broncos, obviously an AFC power. To me, not the same powerful Peyton Manning. The offense looks a little bit slow. You watch them in the first 3 games. They just don't have that firepower. Defense is still scary. Okay, so flip it over down to the South. What are we looking at in the South? The Colts and a bunch of junk is what it usually is. Although this year you've got the Titans. You know, they can hold their own. The Colts, again, don't look like that dominant team. A lot of offensive firepower. Andrew Luck's off to a slow start. Let's take a while to see how that shakes out. So now we bring ourselves to the AFC North. Bengals obviously ahead, 3-0. Ravens 0-3. Sorry, you may be off the map at this point. Steelers are hurting because of Big Ben. I mean, to me, the Bengals are trending up. The perennial powers are trending down, except for the mighty Patriots, who, of course, will get the number 1 seed. But I'm going to go ahead and pencil in the Bengals for number 2. Keep the fingers crossed for no injuries.
Yeah, that's the one thing though, man. I always every game I watch, like when I'm watching the game and I see like just a simple run play, like a halfback dive up the middle, and I see one of our linemen go down and guys roll up on his legs, it just like sends my stomach to my throat, man, because our offensive line is I've written about it. They're so good. They're unreal good. Andy Dalton got sacked for the first time of the season this past week, threw his first interception. The fumble that was something that I felt like Dalton haters were waiting for. But as a Bengals fan, Chris, did you not see that coming? As Dumerville came around that corner, did you not say, "Oh, he's fumbled. He's knocking this ball loose"?
Absolutely.
And then as the ball.
Not only that, but I was so jaded from those circus endings that I knew we weren't even in for the half of the rest of the scoring. I said, okay, this happened. Now let's see how they answer. Oh, they answered that way. Well, let's see what will happen next. It's like you just can't take your eyes off the car wreck.
Yeah, it was. But I wrote about the Bengals. I posted that today. They're a different team, like Chris said. They found a way to win. They faced adversity for the first time, and they came out on top.
That was a different Andy Dalton. That was not the Andy Dalton with the scared half smile on his face, not knowing what to do. Andy Dalton last year, they don't win that game. I'm telling you, there's been some kind of a strange change in him. He had more poise on that last drive. That wouldn't have been the fumble you saw there towards the end. That would have happened with 2 minutes left instead of 8 minutes left. I mean, they had some time to answer, and they actually did. Although
I've seen multiple things pop up on why Andy Dalton's playing well. I've saw, well, he's got more pieces around him. They're all healthy finally, which that's what I believe it is. His offensive line looks great. Another key reason, I saw somebody post something that he finally has a backup quarterback that can challenge him for the position.
Interesting, yeah.
That's another great point. Ian, I don't know. From an outsider looking in, what do you think?
I get your perspective of it, Jared, being a Bengals fan and being let down so many times as far as going into the playoffs. But I go with Chris on this. I think that they are set up for a first-round bye, and they will end up hosting a first-round playoff game. Now, I think that this team is scary close to just absolutely busting it wide open. If they win a playoff game, I don't think they stop. I think all this team needs is a playoff win, and I think it's game over. Now, take that for what it's worth. I didn't say Super Bowl, but I kind of did. I think they can get there.
Don't do that, Ian. Don't mush us. Don't mush us with that right now.
If they win a playoff game, I think it could be dangerous.
They're good. Me and you have talked about it. I said it. I wrote about it. I think it's their division to lose. Ian, you said it. Chris, you've said it. They're good, but at the end of the day, the Patriots have been there. And the Patriots are better this year than they were last year.
Guys, they scored 51 points in the NFL. I know it was Jacksonville, but 51 points. Come on.
51 points is crazy. The Bengals, though, they got a lot of weapons. And I've said this over and over, and I mean, I'm sure most people out there, I'm sure you guys watched last night in Aaron Rodgers. How good is he? I mean, he's unreal. If you put him behind Andy Dalton's line and gave him all the weapons Andy Dalton has, 6,000 to 7,000 yards in a season he would throw for easily. He's so good. He's throwing to Randall Cobb, who's a great player. I mean, James Jones got cut. The Giants just let him go. I mean,
take a look at Aaron Rodgers' ratio of touchdowns to interceptions. It'll blow your mind. We're talking consistent years of 30s and 40s in the TDs, less than 10 on interceptions. No one is that accurate. His career rating is about a 120, I think. And so if you factor in the fact that as soon as he calls hike, he's running for his life. He has no protection. He's going left and right, throwing on the go. He wouldn't know what to do standing still for 5 seconds.
He's scary good. The Browns are the only team that could have ruined him. And honestly, it's because the Browns have no. They don't just surround their team. I don't know, man. I hate to go back to the Browns, man. And I'm sorry we keep talking about the Bengals and banging that into your head. Man, you guys got to go with Manziel.
We're an STD when it comes to quarterbacks. We infect everybody, and they just die off.
I mean, how many quarterbacks is it up to now?
I lost track. That guy's T-shirt says it all, though. I have to try and find that on Google.
It's insane, man.
I think he ran out of jersey and had to tape an extra layer below the jersey.
Yeah, it's all the way off the jersey. I think it's down to like the back of his knee.
Yeah.
It's staggering. Like it's statistically harder to be that bad. It's crazy, but man, I don't know. I think the Bengals. I think they're good. Jeremy, that was a great question. I second guess myself now, but at the same time, I don't know, man. I'm just so the NFL is crazy. It can all change in 1 week. I mean, Steelers fans, last Ohio Sports Radio show we filmed, I said the Steelers have one of the best offenses in the NFL, if not the best behind the Patriots. Roethlisberger goes down, and that injury looked a lot worse than it actually was. I don't know if you guys saw that. It looked bad. I thought it was an ACL for sure. But Roethlisberger goes down. Where does that put the Steelers now? I mean, they still got Le'Veon Bell. They still got Antonio Brown. But how does Mike Vick run that offense like Big Ben did? I mean, anything can change in the NFL week to week. It's crazy. So let's pump the brakes. It's week 3. Happy to be 3-0. Happy the Ravens are 0-3. To be honest with you, I'm sick of them.
Yes.
But let's move on to our NFL picks for this week. So if you guys followed us last week, we all did pretty well. If you guys used our picks, you're welcome for the free money. So we're going to go into this week. Thursday night football, short week. The Ravens turn around. They're 0-3, like we said. They're taking on the Steelers in Pittsburgh. That's a tough game. Obviously, we all have our eyes on this one. Steelers without Big Ben. Ravens first time 0-3 in franchise history. Who do you guys got in this one?
I'll let you go, Ian.
Baltimore is bad. There's no getting around it. And I know Pittsburgh is going to be playing Michael Vick at quarterback, but he may not be great, but Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown are. So I'm going with the Steelers over Baltimore on Thursday night.
Chris, who you got?
Ian, I'm going to go the other way on you. I'm going to go with Baltimore. I know 0-3 looks bad. I think the Ravens are better than that. I think they still believe in themselves, for better or for worse. Steelers may be a little shaken. They're going to have to work some kinks out with Michael Vick. Give me the Ravens Thursday.
I got to take the Ravens as well. I don't think Mike Vick leads his team on a short week. I know that he learned. So it's not a short week for the Steelers team, but 1 week to prepare is not enough time. Antonio Brown's a monster. They'll probably get a steady dose of Le'Veon Bell, but I still got to go Ravens. I think that they're still good, even though they're 0-3. They've had a couple bad bounces. Steve Smith may single-handedly win that game for him. That guy is a freak. I mean, he's a monster. But anyways, yeah, I take the Ravens in that one, and Chris. So next game is the Jets versus the Dolphins. This one's in London, England. What a shitstorm this game's going to be. Who are you guys taking? Chris, E, who wants to go first?
Well, I know the Dolphins are going to have a huge home field advantage being in London, all those Dolphin fans over there.
Yeah.
But, gosh, this is a tough one. I think we're looking at a 9:30 a.m. start on the East Coast, so it doesn't really affect much. Two teams with 2 question marks at quarterback and just about everywhere else. I'm going to coin flip this one and say Jets get it done overseas. Jets over Dolphins.
E?
I agree with Chris. I think the Dolphins will just continue, and I think the Jets and Todd Bowles win again, and I think that puts them to 3-1. So I'll go Jets.
Yeah, this is a game that I have no idea. Both teams are not good. The Jets are not good on offense. Their defense is great. Everybody drank that Dolphins water, man. Tannehill is a loser. His contract is for like an Aaron Rodgers type player. I don't get it. But the Dolphins do have an all right defense. That defensive line's okay. Um, Man, I don't know. I'm just going to go strategically. Going to take the Jets in this one because I cannot drop down lower than you guys. I'm not wearing a Brown jersey. I'm going Jets. Game 3, the Jaguars versus the Colts. The Colts have looked awful. Andrew Luck, my fantasy quarterback, that mouth-breathing son of a bitch, has looked awful. The Colts, though, have dominated the AFC South. They've not lost to an AFC South opponent in the past 2 years. Chris, Ian, who you guys got in this one?
Well, I think last week the Colts got a scare against Tennessee. I think it probably scared them straight into about 4 to 5 wins. I'm not going to go that far. We'll start with the first win of the streak, though. I will take them over Jacksonville. Give me the Colts on Sunday.
3 things in this game. The Colts are at home, the Jaguars are terrible, and it's a division game. Got to go with the Colts.
I agree. No question, Colts at home. I think Luck is actually going to start turning it around. Hopefully, that's my optimism. I think he'll start turning around. So I take the Colts in this one. Jaguars are bad. They're just bad.
I thought you were going to go Jags based on strategy. What about that? You got to pass us now.
No. That's a terrible game. That's a terrible game to do strategy on right there. I'll take the Colts in that one. Game 4, the Giants versus the Bills. This is kind of a trap game. If I was betting, I don't know if I touch this one. The Giants are going out. Reports are saying that they're trying to sign maybe Wes Welker. They're looking to add a couple of receivers. Victor Cruz is back. So who you guys got in this one?
Where's that game at?
It's in Buffalo.
All right. I'm going with the Bills in this one. Like you said, you made mention back when we were talking about Aaron Rodgers, the Giants outright let James Jones go. And I don't know if you saw who else the Giants worked out besides Welker, but they brought Hakeem Nicks back to work out, who they previously released. So I think they're worried about another James Jones thing happening. But I like the Bills over the Giants at home.
Yeah, Ian, as much as I'd like to disagree, I'm with you again. I've got the Bills here taking care of business against the Giants. I think they're a new team. They've got a new era. Rex Ryan's instilled obviously a confidence there that I didn't think he could do. I know it's only 3 weeks, but they're playing with some fire, and Tyrod Taylor gets it done against the Giants.
I agree with you guys. Tyrod Taylor, he's kind of I'm all on board with him, man. He's a good quarterback. I think once they put more pieces around him, he's going to be great. That defense is tough. Rex Ryan, he gets his guys ready for a bar fight. May not always be to win a game, but they play tough and they play for him. So I go Bills on that one. Eli constantly looks like he's staring into a deer in headlights. So I go Bills. I go Bills on that one. Game number 5. Panthers versus the Buccaneers. Ian, this game scared you.
It did. I think this is as good as the Panthers have looked, even with that Kelvin Benjamin injury, the way Newton's utilized everybody, especially Greg Olsen. I think this is a trap game for the Panthers. After this Buccaneers game, they're looking at 4 straight where they go to Seattle, and then they play Philly, Indy, and Green Bay at home. I think it's easy to overlook the Buccaneers here. I'm going to take the upset, and I'm going to go Buccaneers.
Chris?
Yeah, I've been burned on the chic upset picks a few weeks. I had my sexy Jags going week 1. I had my sexy Raiders going week 2. I don't know who I could go with here in week 4, but it's not going to be Tampa Bay. I'm going to go chalk. Give me the Panthers.
I agree with Chris. I like Cam Newton. I think Cam has got pretty good control of this offense. He looks like he's getting him and they look good. I mean that team looks good. They're running the ball. Cam looks great. Defense is all right. Is Kuechly back this week? Does anybody know?
Not sure on that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Kuechly's back. That's definitely a huge get for them. Greg Olsen looks good. I go Panthers in this one. Eagles versus the Redskins in Washington. Who are you guys taking in this one?
Well, the Eagles showed signs of life last week. They had a lot of fight. Was it going to be enough? I'm not sure. I think Washington, if I'm not mistaken, may or may not get their star wideout Deshaun Jackson back. That could play a huge factor. Home crowd, of course, is always a huge factor. Gosh, I'm going to go with the Eagles based on nothing but an intuition. Eagles.
Ian?
I have no clue what either team's identity is.
Yeah.
How Chris talked about the Eagles showed signs of life last week. He's exactly right, but the crazy thing about that is that was without DeMarco Murray.
Yep.
Ryan Matthews looked like the perfect fit for that system. And I don't know what you do moving on. Chip Kelly likes to stir the pot, but I'm taking Philly over Washington.
I agree with you guys. Redskins are bad. They're just bad. I mean, they're playing RG3 as a scout coverage safety in practice. That franchise is a joke. Dan Snyder has ran that franchise in the ground. I don't know. I go Eagles with this one just because I think they have better players than the Redskins. Just simple as that. Raiders versus the awful Chicago Bears at Soldier Field. Who you guys got in this one?
Are we talking at Chicago, I assume?
Yeah, it's at Soldier Field.
You know what? Mr. Carr over there at QB has been getting his little confidence back, while the other side definitely has not. They just looked horrendous. The Bears, of course, with Jimmy Clausen last week. That was a sad display of football against. I know it was Seahawks, but still, you're an NFL team. You need to put yourself together better than that. I got to go with Raiders.
Ian?
Is the fire sale over, or are the Bears going to keep trading players up to the game day?
I think the Bears are all in on tanking this season. I really do. I think they want the number 1 pick.
I heard rumors of re-signing Brian Urlacher, but I don't know how true that is.
That could possibly be true. I don't know. But I think the fire sale is real. I think they're all in on that number 1 pick for sure.
Well, the Raiders beat my Browns last week, so that obviously means the Raiders are an excellent football team in the NFL and are Super Bowl bound. So I'm going to go the Raiders over the Bears this week.
Yeah, I agree with you guys on this one. I think, like I said, I think the Bears are fire sale. They want the number 1 pick. They want Connor Cook. I think that's who they're after. More players are going to go on that team. They're bad. They're not good.
How bad are the Bears when the three of us consensus pick the Raiders confidently?
Yeah. That may be a first, too. The Raiders have not been good for a long time. Amari Cooper, I love the AC/DC, by the way. Amari Cooper, Derek Carr, that is a great nickname. That's probably one of the best nicknames in the NFL. Yeah. They're great. That Amari Cooper is a beast. Derek Carr is great. That team's good. I mean, they got some pieces there. And
wait a second, Jared. I just got a Bleacher Report update that since you talked about the Bears going after Connor Cook, the Browns have also expressed interest in drafting Connor Cook with the 2016 first-round pick.
That is breaking news for the first time. The Browns are on the clock for a quarterback. You heard it here first.
We think it's going to be Connor Cook.
Hopefully, for Connor Cook's sake, it's not. But, yeah, I agree with you guys. I'm taking the Raiders in this one. Bears are not good. So, Texans on the road taking on the Falcons in Atlanta. Who do you guys got?
Ian, go ahead.
Texans, they've got a great run D. They've got no pass D. Julio Jones is going to continue to eat defenses alive until he's stopped, until he's smacked in the face, till somebody shoots him. I'm going Falcons over Texans.
Especially in the same vein as what Ian was talking about, the Falcons are such a dangerous team at home. Matt Ryan's going to put up numbers. Julio's going to eat. Give me the Birds again at home into the dome.
Same here. Birds fly against the Texans, like E alluded to. Texans got a great pass rush. Anytime you got J.J. Watt on the field, I mean, you're doing something right. But their pass defense is terrible. Their secondary is not good. Outside their line, they really got nothing. They're hurt. They got a former Browns player as their backup quarterback, battling for a starting position, so they're in trouble.
Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, he's terrible. Devontae Adams looked good last week, so I mean, if you add a run game to the Falcons and you can get Julio free by having defenses put more guys in the box, I mean, I'm taking Falcons all day in that one. Chiefs versus the Bengals in Cincinnati. Chris, I'll start with you first since you're a Bengals guy.
Well, I I can't come on here and spout about how the Bengals are going to get the number 2 seed if they're going to go ahead and lose to the Chiefs at home. So I've got to go with the orange and black stripes on Sunday. Chiefs. Now the Chiefs aren't a bad team. They've been competitive in every game that they've played. They just the stat that threw out in my mind from yesterday was that there's a streak of 18 straight games without a wide receiver touchdown. How does that happen in the NFL, and how is it not the Jags that had that streak? Unbelievable.
Since I do believe it's since week 14 of 2013, they had not thrown a touchdown to a wide receiver.
Thankfully, that streak ended, and another one will begin Sunday.
Yeah, I'm going to go next, E, since I'm a Bengals guy. I'll let you wrap this one up. I'm taking the Bengals. I told Ian last week I will take the Bengals every week. I don't care if they're playing the 85 Bears. I'm taking the Bengals. So, yeah, simple as that.
I will concur with the rest of you guys. I guess the Bengals are a good enough team for me to take on this one.
Awesome. Next up, Ian, your Brownies. On the road, West Coast taking on the Chargers. Chargers have not looked good on the East Coast. They've kind of gotten that traveling bug, it looks like. So, E, who do you got in this one?
That game's in San Diego, right?
It's in San Diego. Did that steal it for you? Sounded like you did.
Well, here's the thing. Bengals got the 1 o'clock game. That means I'm going to have to watch that game because it's going to be in my market at the 4 o'clock games. I don't think Cleveland goes to San Diego and wins. I'm going Chargers. It's going to be an ugly game, though.
Chris?
I'm going to agree with Ian once again. Chargers get it done at home. Phillip Rivers is just too good, too mobile. The Browns, too inconsistent. And Josh McCown at quarterback, how many more games is it going to take before they get things right over there? How many more years?
This might be it for McCown.
We'll see. I don't know. I got a feeling McCown's going to come out and have a real good game just to throw a wrench in everyone's plans. Like, everyone's writing him out, and he's going to come out and throw for 300 yards.
I think you just picked the Browns. Okay, Jared picks the Browns. Okay.
That's not true. I'm taking the Chargers all day at home.
I heard Browns.
No Browns in this one, but I'm just saying it will probably happen. I take the Chargers because they're always tough at home on the West Coast. Browns don't have an identity for me, and the Chargers do have a lot of weapons actually on offense. So I will go Chargers in this one. Packers on the road taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Who do you guys got in this one?
This is a tricky one. And as much as I'd like to throw an upset pick, I just can't do it with the way Aaron Rodgers has been on fire his entire career. And the San Francisco defense, not as stout as it was last year. They're missing a lot of pieces. I know it's a home game for them, but I'm taking the Pack.
Ian?
Packers. I don't think it'll be close at all.
I agree. It's going to be a bloodbath. Go, Pack, go. Rodgers is unreal. He's unreal. Saying the 49ers are not good. Kaepernick is terrible. He is awful. So I'm taking the Packers for sure. Rams taking on your Cardinals, E. That is Ian's NFC team. He's saying that they're Super Bowl bound is what I hear. So Rams on the road taking on the Cardinals in Arizona. Who do you guys got in this one?
I think they're the best team in the NFC. I think they're right up there with the Packers. And I think home field plays so big into the NFC playoffs. I think if the Cardinals want to make a substantial run at a Super Bowl berth, I think they need to win these games. The Rams aren't an easy opponent, but I think they win this one pretty handedly. They've ran right through their competition so far. Palmer's running on all cylinders. Fitzgerald has been amazing since they switched him to the slot position. Their defense is just amazing. So Pat Peterson and Tyrann Mathieu are nightmares for quarterbacks right now. I like the Cardinals in a blowout.
Chris?
Yeah, to me this screams a game of offense versus defense. When I think of Arizona Cardinals, I think of Palmer and how he's rejuvenated his entire career there. Larry Fitzgerald, how does he keep doing what he keeps doing for so long at such a high level? The Rams are kind of a nuance of the franchise here. They've rebranded themselves as a defensive-minded team, new quarterback. but I don't think it's going to be enough at home. I think the Cardinals take them by at least a touchdown.
I agree with you guys. I think the Cardinals are one of the best teams in the NFL. I actually rank them third best right now, right behind the Patriots and the Packers. I think they're great. Like Chris said, Palmer has revitalized his career there. Even though I liked him in Cincinnati, I thought he was awesome. I think he looks great. They look great. He's got so many weapons. Larry Fitzgerald's a monster. How do you not like the guy? I'm taking the Cardinals in this one. Vikings on the road taking on the Broncos in Denver. Who do you guys got in this one?
Okay, my first upset pick of the night. I'm going purple. So we're going to go Minnesota over Peyton Manning and the Broncos. I know it's tough to win out there on the road, but Teddy Bridgewater is just too mobile for those defensive backs. The Broncos, to me, they're treading water. They're not the dominant team that they once were. If they can get a few turnovers and a few breaks, I feel confident with this upset pick. I'm going Vikings.
Ian?
I like that pick, Chris. Man, it's just, even though they have shown signs of slowing down, it's tough to go against Peyton Manning at home. I don't know. I wanted to take the Vikings here, and as good as that Vikings defense is, I think Manning comes out and probably has his best game to date this season. I'm going the Broncos at home, but I don't know. I could see it going either way, but I'll go Broncos.
This is the hardest game on the card for me.
By far.
I said in the beginning of the year, Mike Zimmer wins Coach of the Year. I thought AP would compete for the rushing title. I love Teddy Bridgewater. I am completely on board with Teddy. But like Ian said, Peyton at home, they're finding ways to win. Say what you want about the Broncos, they're still grinding games out. Their defense is pretty good. They got a good pass rush. Teddy Bridgewater is young. If they can get to him early and they can get pressure on him, I think that he's going to have a long day. Their secondary, Broncos secondary is really good. Bradley Roby looks awesome. I'm going Broncos with this one. Cowboys on the road taking on the Saints in New Orleans. Who do you guys have in this one?
This is another tough one because these aren't your same Cowboys and these aren't your same Saints. But both teams, the identity hasn't changed. They're going to put up a ton of points, and they're going to give up a ton of points. So in my mind, I see if Drew Brees returns in this game, the odds are in his favor being at home. Dallas still without Tony Romo, maybe not able to keep up firepower-wise. I'm going to go Saints at home against Dallas.
Ian?
Is Breeze playing, or is it McCown, or have they announced yet?
They have not said yet. That's one part about filming this early in the week, I guess. They have not announced who the starter is. Breeze was testing out his shoulder today. It was a shoulder bruise, so I'm going to guess he plays. But
Okay, here's my rationale behind this. I think the Saints look at the Cowboys and they think, hey, let's not push Breeze. We're going up against another backup quarterback. Luke McCown started out hot in last week's game. I think they let McCown play this game. I'm going to go Cowboys. I don't think Whedon's great by any means, but I think they do enough to get past the Saints if the Saints are led by McCown. But I'll go Cowboys this week.
This is a tough one for me as well. The Saints are not good. I think they're the second worst team in the NFL behind the Bears. Rob Ryan, I have no clue how the guy still has a job as a defensive coordinator in the NFL. He is terrible. If Breeze plays, it's going to be a lot closer. They've lost, I think it's something like their last 8 games at home, that's crazy. It used to be a fortress. You could not go in there and win. I think the Cowboys still have the best line in the NFL. They have a good running back in Randall. I'm taking the Cowboys on the road. I think they have enough talent to get the win. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be close, but I'm taking the Cowboys in this one. And finally, the last game of the week, the Monday night game, the Detroit Lions are heading up to Seattle to take on the Seahawks in the 12th man. Who do you guys got?
Well, we could save time and just say goodnight, everybody, because I don't see this game being even in the ballpark. Another Monday night thriller, 4-touchdown blowout. 12th man gets it done big time.
E?
I'll take Matt Hasselbeck and the Seahawks.
This one's going to be awful. It's going to be a bloodbath. The Lions are terrible. I got to get this little piece in. I'm going to say it every time. People complain about Andy Dalton being mediocre. Matt Stafford is the most mediocre quarterback in the NFL. The guy is worth 185 yards a week, 1 touchdown if he's lucky, and 3 interceptions. I'm going Seahawks big. Seahawks by 21.
Is Sean Alexander playing this week?
Hey, Sean was there. The Kentucky boy, Cincinnati boy, Sean was there, being honored.
He looked like he could get about 3.5 yards.
Yeah, he could definitely run on this Lions defense for sure.
Good deal.
So that's it. That's pretty much the end of Ohio Sports Radio's the Ohio Sports Radio show number 2. It's fun. It's awesome. We love doing this. Thank you to everyone who submitted questions for us. If you have not checked out our Facebook page, go check it out. It's just search Ohio Sports Radio. Give us a like on there. We're also on Twitter. It's at Ohio Sports Radio Show. Go on there. Tweet at us, follow us. We'd appreciate that. Check out our website. It's ohsportsradio.com. We try to keep things updated for you guys. If you guys have anything you ever want us to tackle or any questions, please let us know. We love talking sports. We started this just for fun. It's just a hobby for us that we enjoy doing. I mean, so thank you to everyone who continues to support us and read our stuff. Thank you to you guys for all the hard work you do. Do you guys have anything to say?
No, just great to be here, the Three Musketeers, and we'll keep it going.
E?
Thanks for following. Thanks for submitting questions this week. If you guys want to throw in some college quarterbacks that you want me to analyze for future Browns use, I will be happy to do that. If you think there are any coordinators turned coaches that the Browns may hire as a head coach, I'm willing to discuss this with you. I'm used to it. I will talk about it.
The Browns have moved on. They're on the clock. You heard it here first before anyone else. Ian, who are the Browns taking with their first pick in next year's draft? It's got to be quarterback, right?
It's going to be Connor Cook or it's going to be Cardell Jones.
You guys heard it here first. Thank you to everyone. Hope you guys enjoy this. Comment on our website. Comment on our Facebook page. Tweet at us. Again, it's Ohio Sports Radio. Give us a like. On Twitter, it's at Ohio Sports Radio. You can send us an email. It's ohiosportsradio@gmail.com. We would love to answer any questions. Thank you to everyone. Just continue to support us, and we'll continue to do this for you guys. So thank you guys yet again. Look forward to seeing you guys for Week 3. Good luck in the NFL. Hopefully your team wins. And hoo-day, Chris.
Yeah, baby.